Hi, I'm Bill Boyce. My parents exposed me to the outdoors. I fell in love with fishing at 4 and made it my life passion. I became a fisheries biologist. All these experiences led me around the world in search of the finest fishing. Through these amazing journeys, I've caught the most incredible species known to the sport. Now I'm taking you on the next adventure. This is IGFA Anglers Digest. It was another amazing year of travel, exploring both new and familiar fishing grounds all over the world. We started off the adventure in the beautiful British Virgin Islands, fishing out of Anegada. Then went south to Panama and Guatemala to visit some really good friends of mine. Then I drove my crew down to Baja, Mexico on a 2,500-mile adventure that we will never forget. We went to Sitka, Alaska for a week of great times at Dove Island Lodge. Then flew halfway across the planet back to Tahiti for another amazing adventure aboard the Ultimate Lady. Like that wasn't enough to satisfy my fishing thirst, our crew was invited on an 8-day trip on the Royal Polaris out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The fishing was epic, to say the least. Finishing out the year at the 60th International Billfish Tournament of Club Nautico de San Juan in Puerto Rico was truly an honor for me. Thanks to everyone for making it all possible, and thanks for watching the series. Here's a look back at last year.
IGFA Anglers Digest is brought to you by Mojo Apparel. It's time to get your mojo on. By Cobian Footwear. Step into performance, step into quality, step into Cobian. And by the Los Cabos Tourism Board, making sure all your fishing dreams come true.
It was such a fantastic year. Not one trip was better than the other. The people, the places, the fishing. I can't believe how much fun I had with all these experiences. Let's relive a few of my favorite adventures. This is going to be a huge treat today. I mean, a huge treat. I haven't done this in a long time. We've got this beautiful custom beaver plane. What we're going to do is go to some rivers, South Baranof Island, to do some steelhead fishing here with Vic.
We're going to swing flies.
Okay.
We're using 8-weight rods with big, flashy, colorful flies.
Okay. All right. What size fish can we expect?
It'll range anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12. There are some 20-pounders in there.
One of the best parts about freshwater fishing is just the journey getting there. Whether it be the airplane, the small hike to get in there, it's incredibly beautiful. Where we're going today, there's a gorgeous waterfall. It's a fairly short, semi-extreme hike, but very doable for most people. So anyway, let's do it.
The flight down is spectacular. Flying over areas like Necker Cove, Whales Bay, areas I've fished before on mothership operations and always enjoyed, but for me to enjoy those views again from the air was awesome.
All right, Dwayne, we'll see you in about an hour. I think we can get the job done within that.
Okay, great. You guys have a good time?
As we're walking up the trail, huge Sitka spruce, hemlocks, cedars, just a beautiful stand of trees. And it just felt so good to be back along a beautiful river in southeast Alaska.
The crescendo of it all is that there's a big waterfall right at where we start fishing. So there's a lake up above, the waterfall spills into this mile-long river that on good years is chock full of steelhead.
I'm left-handed, and coming back on a regular left-hand cast, I'm gonna be in the trees. So he tells me where he wants that fly, and really the only option I have is to turn completely away from that river, fly cast so I can see where that fly is, and then on the cast, roll back, lay it out, and then mend the line to get it under this one tree. But hey man, we're throwing it. I'm getting the fly right where we need to be, but again, that water there was about 3-4 feet deep. Just not getting that fly down low enough for him.
Bill?
Yep.
Just between you and me?
Yeah.
I think that fish that we're looking at is a rock.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay.
So we going down? So we walk down about 20 yards, 30 yards, and there's one overhanging tree. Throw it out, I mend it. That's where you roll the line on the uphill side so it drifts, a cleaner drift. And I got the rod tip low, anticipating a bite with every cast, and it's just not happening, just not happening. And then Vic says, let's change flies.
Okay, your best cast. Try to get it back there.
Put back that other fly. He walks down. I'm gonna give myself one last shot at that fish. Lay it out, and as soon as that fly lands, I'm like, man, this is the cast. This is the one. Got him.
Is that a fish? Get it lined into your left hand there. Get your line, there.
Nice. Get him on the reel. Get him on the reel.
Okay. It's coming at me quick. I don't want to give it any slack, so I'm just pulling line through my fingers.
Okay, what I'd like you to do is come this way. Reel, reel, reel. Good job.
We're trying to get him into skinnier water where we can land it.
This way. Come across. There you go. And then the fish rolled, and that was the time we got a look at him. And he had to have been 12 to 14 pounds. It was a real quality fish.
God's on it.
Now don't let him take it if he needs it. Okay, now come this way. See if you can't just get that rod high. Get him on the tip of the rod. Oh! We were pulling a little hard.
That and it got around those trees. That was my biggest fear. The line kind of hit the side of that branch and it came on. We're ecstatic that I got hooked up. But the reality of it is, you're fly fishing for a very weary fish, the steelhead. And we both know with our experience, this could be the only hookup we've got. It's almost like going marlin fishing and having that big blue marlin come up and eat that lure and lose it, and then sit there for the rest of the day wondering, are we gonna get another shot? We were ecstatic that we hooked a fish, everything's good, and I'm just telling myself, hey, if there's that one fish that fit, there's gonna be another one's gonna bite. We are gonna get a fish. Cast into another fish, we knew it was in this one area, didn't get it to go. So Vic turns around and he starts walking towards the shore.
We hadn't caught a fish yet, so I was going to go back and pull out the sat phone and ask for more time.
Cast, 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 third or fourth cast, swing it, bite, come back. There it is, there it is. Fish on, fish on.
Get him on the reel, get him on the reel. Attaway. He'd taken 3 real good runs, bottom, kept tension on the line, and then the fish was starting to give way. And he brought him in a little bit at a time, and I asked him to put the rod over my head and swang him right into me. Came in, just touched the leader enough to tail him, pick him up, and then set her down in the water.
Nice!
All right, come on down.
Landed about an 8-pound hen. Beautiful fish, super bright, great fight.
See the bite mark, maybe a seal or something?
Yep, something got her at one point.
Okay, grab my pliers. She's been good to us.
Yep.
We're gonna let her go back, and there she goes. Good job.
Thanks for your work on this, man. It's really hard for me to see these things because they're so camouflage. Well, we know there's a few more fish down here. How much time we got?
We got enough for a few more casts.
Do
Let's see if we
Okay.
can do one more.
Awesome.
All right.
Mission accomplished. Steelhead on the fly.
Good job.
2 hookups. Vic goes, hey, there's a few more fish hanging down here. He got off to the side. It was perfect. He sought the fish, so I can stay up above, out of sight and out of mind of those fish, but I can lay that fly to where they are. And he's off to the side with polarized glasses. He's telling me exactly where it's gonna be. So I lay the cast out. I think it was my 2nd or 3rd cast. Bow! Hook up again. Oh yeah!
Yeah, baby.
Right there! Right there!
Get up,
Right.
on the reel.
Nice fish!
Reel, reel, reel. Let him go. Nicely done, yes.
He puts up a nice jump. Every time we tried to grab him, he'd run back again. He was a really, really scrappy fish. We're just like, yeah! 3 steelhead hookups. Coming right at you. Right in the corner. Sweet!
A little smaller fish.
A little smaller fish, a little more color.
A male.
Oh, male, definitely so. What you'll see on a male over a female is a longer jawline and a little bit more of a kite, the curved up bottom lower jaw. And again, this fly is the fly of choice, I would have to say, huh? Those little beak hooks are so sharp. Release the fish, let's go. Got down, plane came and picked us up. And for a first day here in Alaska, to pull that off, I'm in that plane, flying back, and my heart is just bursting with joy. It was really cool. So we're trolling right near the bank. Bingo, hook up. Didn't take long. We're still putting lines out. And Ray brings in a nice dogtooth tuna. So we know somebody's home on the reef. And we have a double hookup on the way in. His friend Daryl hooks up, brings in a Galapagos shark. Bro, this place is crazy.
Well, we don't know what to expect, but what we've heard is supposed to be very, very good.
We had 3 hookups in 10 minutes and all 3 were different fish. I'm saying to myself, this could potentially be the most insane day of offshore fishing I've ever had in my life.
Yellowtail.
Is it a yellowtail? Nice! We're laughing at this point. Now we're starting to take count. We're literally counting how many different species of fish we're gonna catch on this bank. Oh my God, nice yellowfin. That's a big one.
Yeah, 6 different fishes.
6 different species Danny's telling us. Danny, what do you think this is?
Yeah, this is
Big wahoo?
big wahoo.
Nice job, Freddie. Playing it right, man.
This is the 7th species of fish that we have caught since this morning. Not bad, huh?
Show me the love, bro. Great job, man. Love your technique, dude. So literally for the next hour, it is a yellowfin frenzy. Everything coming to the boat is yellowfin, double hookups, right? A lot of multiple hookups, which are common on yellowfin. We're all having the time of our lives. So we're done with the yellowfin because we want to try to find these packed up wahoo that we know exist on this bank. We put out some big lures, we start trolling, getting a little bit farther off the bank there, maybe try to get away from tuna. Can you imagine running away from yellowfin tuna? Whew. Thing goes off out of the rigger, and Ray takes the rod. The thing came through the boat, looked like a missile. He lands about a 40 kg wahoo. About a 95-pound wahoo.
That's a beauty. Go under and have a look at that one.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Good job. These are the wahoo we came here for, man. You can literally break the IGFA World Record book on light lines right here in this location. We're beside ourselves. We've only been fishing 5 hours on a place that we all knew and we all expected to have great fishing. This is superb fishing. This is like once in a lifetime fishing.
I think it's reasonable size fish.
So the last fish on the troll is a huge dogtooth tuna. And Fred does the honors on that. Gee. Whoa! Big dogtooth! Big dogtooth! All right, Fred, get in there, buddy. Oh, dude, that's a great shot. Great shot. And here comes Danny and G, and they pull out these beautiful, these are like $5,000, $6,000 reels for deep frothing. To me, as a biologist, I love seeing the kind of fish we're gonna catch at 1,000 feet. The boys drop their gear, and as soon as it hit the bottom, these fish are just climbing up those canyons. And what do we bring up? A bunch of these beautiful, they just call them pink snapper. Kind of like an apaka paka that you get maybe in the Hawaiian Islands. And then the surprise of it all is when Danny brought up this huge snake mackerel. One vicious looking critter. Look at the mouth on that. What a great way to end the day. Probably one of the most phenomenal days I've ever spent in my life offshore. The variety of species and the quality of the fish that we caught. I can't remember a time where I've gone out and caught big eye, yellowfin, wahoo of that size, of that quality, and then deep drop for all these beautiful snappers, knowing that we're on some pinnacle 90 miles from the nearest island, 400 miles west of Tahiti. It's pretty cool. Tournament started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 8:10, there are already several hookups. I mean, first day of a tournament, first 10 minutes of the tournament, and those boats already hooking up. You can imagine the excitement on every boat when all that radio blast is going off with hooked up, hooked up, hooked up. Because the tournament rules state, when you hook up, you call into tournament control, and not only give them where you hooked up, but give them the time that you hooked up. And then when you catch the fish, by tipping the leader, then you'll call in the time that it was released. If we're wondering, wait a minute, 45 minutes of this tournament, there's already all kinds of fish being caught and released. When's it gonna be our turn? Well, at 8:45, our turn came. Wow, right there! Woo! On the lure, didn't take long. Fish comes up short right. We got a bite out of it, but it didn't stick.
Still got him?
Bummed that didn't happen, but glad that we're seeing some fish. So about 9:45, only an hour later from that first bite, we get another fish come into the spread. So here's this 50-pound trolling rod, comes bent. We think, all right, there it is, we're bit, we're hooked up. Got him, Tim?
Nope.
Comes off. Normally on a lure, once that fish has felt that hook, you're not gonna get that second rebite opportunity. The third rebite, Timmy on his lure hooks up. There he is. There we go. Right. Rebite on the long lure. Right on, Tim. And he lands the first fish of the day on the Caramba, a beautiful 200-pound blue marlin, which we released in great condition.
Pretty work, brother.
But we're feeling some great mojo on this boat at this point because we've already seen 4 fish in the first few hours of fishing.
On the board, baby! On the board!
The action we're getting is absolutely indicative of what everybody else is getting. There were 30-some hookups just in the first few hours of day 1. This could potentially be a record-setting tournament here in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Let's get some more. This boat gets bit really well, Jimmy.
So that morning bite fades and it goes into what we call the midday doldrums. Nobody's hooking up, which is pretty common in some of these areas where the bite is really tide specific. So everybody's waiting for that late afternoon bite that's supposed to be established from what people have been seeing the last couple of days and knowing what the moon phase is. Well, sure enough, you can almost set your watch to it. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the radio starts buzzing, people are calling up hookups, but we didn't get a bite, didn't raise a fish. So we thought we'd change up the color of the teasers and the color of the lures just to see if we could change the luck. It didn't take 5 minutes for that change to bring on a strike.
Oh my God. Look, go, right here.
We knew it was a sizable fish just from the strike. But when he hooked up, it took that 50-pound trolling rod and literally bent it straight at the fish and peeled off about a half a spool of line.
I've been fighting for over an hour now, but everything cool. Almost there.
We had a 2-hour fight that ensued, and I mean, we're putting maximum pressure on this fish.
We got our mojo on.
No, don't touch it. Tip. What a fish! And what we caught ended up to be about a 500-pound blue marlin. Nice, Jew! We called over the National Geographic boat, and they brought it in, successfully put on a critter cam, and 2 hours later, that camera popped to the surface with hopefully some really great footage for Sam and National Geographic.
IGFA Anglers Digest is proudly sponsored by Fin Addicts, Box Travel Rods, Tough Line, Halco Lures, King Sailfish Mounts, and NCMC Wild Oceans.
The beautiful thing about this boat is we have surgeons and anesthesiologists on this boat as just passengers. We got this pelican up here, and he had a big rip side of his neck, which is also part of his pouch. This bird probably wouldn't survive much longer if it wasn't for these guys doing this.
Let's give him a test run. Give me a sardine. That bird, pick it up.
Take a picture of that.
Let's see. Look at that.
Right down the hatch.
Look at him go. He's like a new man.
Yeah.
He couldn't have done that 10 minutes ago. Congratulations.
Strong work.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, doctor.
What's up? What's going over?
Heads up, guys.
Sayonara, buddy.
Boat slides sideways, Frank's tossing baits, foils start appearing, and it's game on. This is crazy. 2 stops today, they've just been crazy. This stop's even better than the last one, I think. It's just nuts how many fish are coming on the boat, and they're all these really good, great fish.
The weather is a little bit windy, but still great. We're out here fishing, having a good time.
Just put a bait on, and right before I tossed it, the chum that Frank tossed got bit. Boil right there, I literally threw my bait right on a boil. Came back and just ate mine. It was so fun when you see the fish that eats your bait. There. Oh, you got good job. Good job, bro. So with all the mayhem of fishing, it's really funny. I'm calling for a gaff, and and you've got one of the cooks, I think it was James, comes up with a gaff. There were so many fish being caught in gaff, even the cooks, Anthony and James, are in on it.
Yeah, now I'll be in there in a minute to make snack. Right now I got a beautiful bluefin on the line here.
Bluefin behaving badly. Should be a TV show. There we go. All right. Oh, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good job on you too, man. All righty. Number 30, red. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So with all the fish coming on the boat, you got to wonder, how am I going to find my fish when this trip is over? Well, they've got 2 sets of tags, because there's actually 3 companies that do fish processing here in San Diego. The one that's affiliated the most with Fisherman's Landing is Fisherman's Processing. So those are the folks I'm selecting to do my fish. So I had a tag, I was number 30, angler number 30, and the red tag is Fisherman's Processing. The white tags were 5-star and Mario's. So I'm saying, look, 30 red. They take that 30 red sticker, they staple it onto the gill cover, and it goes into the well. So at the end of the trip, I know exactly what fish are my fish. And this whole operation, the hooking, the handing, the gaffing, the stapling of these tags, putting them in the wells, washing off the decks, this is all going on. Absolutely not a wasted bit of movement. Every one of the crew, bing, 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 no screaming, no yelling. It was just happening. Bait up and do it again. This is fun. What an insane bite we have going here. All in all, that bite lasted 6 hours. Literally came into almost dinner time. And we all had limits. All had smiles on our faces. Everybody's high-fiving on the boat. I'm telling you right now, the camaraderie of the crew and the anglers at that point was absolutely peaked. Once again, I thank everyone who made each show possible. I also need to thank my sponsors this year for their continued support. Mojo Sportswear, Cobian Footwear, the Los Cabos Tourism Board, Fox Rods, Halco Lures, the Wild Oceans Campaign, King Sailfish Mounts, Tough Line, and Fanatics. But most of all, a sincere thanks to all of you for watching the IGFA Anglers Digest this season. And look forward to bringing you more amazing adventures from all over the world coming up next season.